Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live 10 at 10.
We begin tonight with breaking news. One person is dead and several others have serious injuries after a crash on Highway 2 near the Grand Forks Airport. Here's what we've confirmed with the North Dakota Highway Patrol. The crash happened around 7 tonight and involved a conversion van and a semi.
There were 10 people in that van, 1 driver and 9 passengers. The person who died was in the van, and we know several people were ejected from the van. The crash shut down traffic for close to an hour along Highway 2. It is now open. Reports indicated that the semi-driver was uninjured. Now, we are expecting an update from All True Hospital, where most of the injured were taken. We'll pass along that information as soon as we get it.
Authorities are still looking for answers after 3 people from Valley City were seriously hurt in a rollover south of Valley City Sunday night. It happened on County Road 21. Officials with the Barnes County Sheriff's Department say when deputies arrived on the scene, 2 people had been ejected from a pickup and another person was trapped inside the vehicle after it rolled multiple times. The driver of the pickup, a 17-year-old boy, and one of the passengers, a 17-year-old girl, had to be airlifted to a Fargo hospital. Their conditions have not been released yet. The second passenger, 18-year-old Brighton Smith, was taken to a Devil's Lake hospital for treatment.
A 17-year-old boy from Belcourt, North Dakota is dead. A Fargo man is facing charges after a rollover in a stolen vehicle. It happened early this morning just east of Jamestown. Troopers say the driver, 54-year-old Wilmer Nadeau, was heading east on I-94 when the vehicle hit the median and rolled. The boy was thrown from the pickup and died at the scene from his injuries. Nadeau was taken to the hospital, was arrested for DUI after he was released. The pickup involved a crash, came back as stolen from the Spiritwood, North Dakota area.
How often do you see distracted drivers just out and about in Fargo?
All the time.
A majority of us are guilty of texting and driving. And if you're a North Dakota driver, starting August 1st, if you're caught distracted while behind the wheel and commit a traffic violation, you could be handed a $100 fine. So
what qualifies as a distraction? Valley News Team's Christine Stanwood took to the streets to talk with drivers.
What do you think qualifies as distracted driving if an officer pulls you over?
Being on your phone, playing with your radio too much, not paying attention to the road.
Chris got some of those right, but officers are looking for other things to cite you for.
There's kids yelling in the back seat and the driver turns around and says knock that off, and in the process of doing so rear end someone. They were distracted.
So what are the most common distractions for drivers? First one being your cell phone. Doesn't matter if it's handheld or if it's through your Bluetooth. The second one, reaching for a moving object in your vehicle. Number 3, rubbernecking, meaning looking outside your vehicle. Fourth one, reading while you're driving. And the 5th one, applying makeup while driving.
To take our eyes off the road and concentrate on something other than driving or the safe operation of that vehicle puts everybody in danger.
Are you guilty of distracted driving?
Occasionally, but I think I do pretty well.
In Fargo, Christine Stanwood, Valley News Live.
So here are some of the things you can do to avoid distractions. Silence your phone, turn off the vibration. That way you'll be less tempted to check. You can also designate your passenger to text for you. Be sure to alert family, friends, co-workers when you're driving. That way they won't contact you during your commute. Also think out of mind, out of sight. When you put your phone in the glove box, you won't be tempted to check it. And finally, there's new technology out there to download an app to keep you from texting and driving.
If anybody has an issue or a concern, they're certainly feel free to call me and we can figure out what the need is.
Safety on school buses. Many parents are thinking about it after a few isolated incidents this past school year involving children on buses being put in dangerous situations.
Valley News Team's Cornelius Hocker talks to a local bus company that wants the community to know they do everything to get your children back and forth from school safely.
Are you a future bus driver?
John McLaughlin, owner of Valley Bus in Fargo, talks about safety measures on buses in place to keep your kids safe.
All of our large buses have 3 cameras. It's been very beneficial to help monitor behavior, make sure the bus drivers are doing what they should, and just make sure we know exactly what's going on in a bus.
McLaughlin says cameras paint a clearer picture if incidents are reported.
What the cameras allowed us to do was get out of he said, she said at the end of a route and into let's look at the video and see what really happened.
Fargo Public Schools and Valley Bus agreed Putting cameras on buses was in the best interest of everyone, a decision made 3 years ago.
We both saw the need for it. Not because kids are misbehaving more than the past, but I just think everything gets a heavier, deeper scrutiny these days.
So as your little one gets ready to go back to school, you can send them off on the school bus with peace of mind.
Between having drivers that are all screened well, trained well throughout the year, monitors that we put on bus when necessary, and the videos, I think we've got a pretty good handle on what's going on in the buses, and we're always trying to do better.
Cornelius Hawker, Valley News Live.
Now, many of the other bus companies and school districts in our area encourage parents to let them know if something bad happens on a bus ride.
Charges are being considered against a priest within the Fargo Diocese. The state's attorney from Richland County tells Valley News Live that his office is reviewing the case involving Father Thomas Feldman. Ronald Macbeth says there were allegations involving interactions with children. Valley News Live was only told by investigators the nature of the concerns were inappropriate activities. No charges have been filed. Macbeth says he hopes to have a decision by the end of July. Feldman has been on administrative leave. The Diocese of Fargo says it was Father Feldman who brought forth the concerns.
We're learning more about the shooting in Minneapolis that left a bride-to-be dead. Investigators say that before Officer Mohammed Noor shot and killed Justin Dumond, his partner officer claimed Noor was startled by a loud sound near the squad car after responding to the 911 call of a possible assault. Soon after, Dumond approached the driver's side window, and the officer fired his weapon, hitting Dumond through the open driver's side window. She died at the scene. Investigators are now looking to speak to a bicyclist that both officers claimed to have seen immediately before the shooting. They say the white male stopped and watched as the officers provided medical assistance to Dumond.
Family members of Justine Dumond want justice for what they claim was an unnecessary death. After the shooting this past weekend, some people are asking, when do officers turn on their body cameras? And how do you know if they're recording? In our area, Dilworth and Grand Forks police departments wear body cameras. Each department sets its own policies on when to turn those body cameras on and off. For example, in Dilworth, the cameras are to be turned on before interaction during traffic stops, field interviews, and while arresting someone. Grand Forks police say there's a visual indicator on their cameras that identifies when they're recording. Also, both departments say a person can always ask officers. The police departments in Hawley and New York Mills used to use body cameras, but stopped due to cost and policy.
Frontier Airlines will be returning to Fargo's Hector International Airport. Fargo is one of 21 nonstop destinations from Denver to be added and will likely be providing service again to Fargo in the spring of next year. Airport Authority Executive Director Sean Doberstein says that people will like the fares that Frontier will be offering. He added they might be offering flights to and from Denver 4 days a week. For more information on Frontier's expanded service, we have a link on this story. It's at valleynewslive.com.
The fight to repeal the state's blue laws isn't over yet, even though a bill to do so failed in the legislature. Members of North Dakota Open on Sunday delivered ballot language to the Secretary of State's office. The next step is for petitioners to collect more than 13,000 signatures for it to officially become a ballot measure. They hope to be on the ballot for the November 2018 election. Supporters say the blue law is unenforceable and it gets broken by stores and customers on Sundays.
If you walk into a grocery store, currently you can, while they're allowed to be open, you can buy groceries, but you cannot buy a list of 44 different items that are prohibited by the law.
Some prohibited items being sold at grocery stores include kitchen utensils, cameras, mirrors, and pots and pans, items that are available at many stores.